Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We have this show all over the metro area, and it's about organizations that are doing good things. And now we're going to be talking with another organization that works with youth in the area. This is Up and Over. And representing Up and Over is Giovanni Shern, the founder and managing member. Nice to have you here, Giovanni.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Now, Up and Over, that name doesn't tell me a whole lot, so maybe you can explain to me what exactly you do and why.
Okay, so the premise of Up and Over is that we all have obstacles. We all have hurdles. We call them mountains or hills, but we can get up those. And we want to encourage kids by example that we've gone through those same things, but we've gotten over our hurdles. And so we get up and over our mountains or our hills, or no matter how small or how large. And so the premise of Up and Over is that we go and we share our stories of getting up and over our personal obstacles as a way, like I said, to be the example, to set the example for them and inspire them that, you know, hey, if we can do it, you can do it. And it makes us feel connected with the students that way.
A lot of students don't have very good role models in their lives and people that they can look up to. So I imagine this is a way to provide that for some of those kids. What area does this cover? Who are the kids that you work with?
It's funny because I was just asked this question today. Our target youth is any youth that has multi-barriers. And so we don't target any ethnic group or any age group or anything like that. Any youth in the area is our focus. And we do Oregon and Washington, and we're getting ready to expand into Nevada this upcoming school year.
How long has Up and Over been going?
Since 2011.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what you say about any kid, not just targeting one group, is kind of important, I think, because a lot of times people will see a child maybe who comes from a family that has plenty of money, has two parents that are working, has, you know, what appears to be everything. They can have problems just as serious and obstacles to overcome as, you know, as tough as any kid who is you know, considered at risk. Right. So how do you do this? I mean, obviously sharing your story is one thing, but you have other programs and, well, in fact, you have a video that you brought. Maybe this would be a good time to take a look at that, kind of give us an idea of what exactly you do at Up and Over. Okay, let's take a look at that now.
I like this. It was a very good experience. I've never been involved in something like this. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really fun. I like sharing out with people, and I like to get to know them, and I like how they shared with us.
It was awesome, you know, I got to share my personal experience. I feel like I'm not alone anymore.
When daddy left, he didn't say I'm leaving. Left up to him, man, I wouldn't be breathing. Yet I'm steady achieving, planting seeds in the minds of the future, changing the seasons. What's the reason? Our hearts are bleeding, concern for the youth and how we lead them. You better think about it before you speak about it. Use your action, not your words, how we be about it. Things gon' be alright. We gon' be.
And this is the team. It's not about staying down low, it's about getting what?
Things gon' be alright. We gon' be just fine.
It's really good to hear like stories of people, so like it's not just like you hear about it, you can actually like hear of real people that they've actually gone through.
And just want you to know that you're not alone, that there are people there that can help you, and we just want to really encourage you guys to be open to that.
if you're gonna be going far or something, why would you need to go to school even if you're for sure, you know? But you guys make some really good points about how important education is no matter what you're doing. Yeah.
It's not about staying down and low, it's about getting up and what? One more time, I just called y'all the loudest school in Seattle. It's about getting up and what?
Baby, hold my hand, don't cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Wash away your tears, dry your eyes. Moving up and on, and you tomorrow. Mama screams in the hall, what's up?
That looks like something that would really, really appeal to the kids.
Yeah, every time I watch that, I feel a little emotional because that was one of our first schools that we did. Yeah. It was,
So why did you start this? What motivated you to start this organization?
I had put on a talent. I was involved in bringing BET's Wild Out Wednesday here, and following that, there was one of the artists who participated in that contacted me and said, you know, I would like to take, you know, all this talent. Portland has so much talent. Let's take the talent and go into the schools and do like a tour. And I was thinking, if we have the opportunity to be in front of these students, I want to take advantage of that opportunity.
So not just to entertain them.
Not just to entertain them, but to really, like, if they're a captive audience in an assembly, what else can we do? And so we took the performance piece, which we end every presentation with a performance, but that's not the main focus. And so I had this idea about Up and Over. I was going to start a program for women in recovery because my mom was on drugs. And I never did it because I talked myself out of it. No money, no time, how do you do it? And so I talked myself out of doing that. And when we were talking about it, me and Daniel Warren is his name, it just came to me, like Up and Over. We can go in and we can tell our stories. And so instead of having this program for women in recovery, let's go in and prevent students needing recovery. And so we would start there. And
get them young. And
yeah, get them so they don't need recovery programs. And so in March of 2011, I put together a proposal, and by July of that same year, we were in our first school.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. So you go into the schools, you have a whole presentation, like they have a student assembly, and you're it, right?
Yes.
And what else do you do? Because it doesn't just stop there, does it?
No. So our first year, we were going and sharing our stories. We have an interactive exercise that we do to kind of demonstrate to the students that you can't look at someone and know their story. We share our stories, and then we end with performances. Well, then the schools are like, well, what else you got? And we're like, nothing. And so they would ask us to come back and do like a follow-up. And so that kind of transitioned into us doing workshops, but not really structured workshops. And so we did the workshops for the first year. I stopped doing them because there really was no direction. There was nothing was really deliberate. We were just kind of there. And so I had to rethink what we were trying to accomplish by these workshops. And so we partnered up with the Bletson Group out of Washington to have a actual mental health professional come in and help facilitate these workshops. And so now we offer workshops. It's called Achieve Against the Odds. It's a 6-series workshop that we've been doing. And we also recently partnered up with Horse Sense Riding School in Estacada to provide equine-based workshops. And so, you know, we're steadily growing, and with the name Up and Over, there's so many things that you can do.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that.
it's sort of unlimited as far as the things you can do. So you can go to the schools, you can do a assembly for the kids, and then do you always now follow it up with the workshops afterwards, or does it depend on what the school wants?
It depends on what the school wants, because our presentations are free. They've always been free. That's just been where my heart has been, to just offer these for free. We run solely on volunteers. I'm blessed to know the people that I know and meet the people that I've met.
You have a lot of volunteers. I mean, you have a lot of people working on this.
Yeah, we do. We have 23, 24 volunteers. Most of them have been with me from day one. And so I'm just really blessed in that sense. And so usually it's it's a good segue if they ask, this is great, we'd love to have you guys come back. Then I can present the workshops.
So then the workshops.
Yeah.
So then you have the workshops, and you do some mentoring too, is that right?
Yeah, the last couple years we had a mentoring program. It was a creative media, mentoring program called the BIZ program. And through that mentoring program, we would go into schools, and we would publish a magazine, all done by students, from the design to the photos to the content, everything. And then the students would also learn to write, record a song that they wrote and recorded themselves, and then we would shoot a music video to that.
Wow.
We haven't really focused on that aspect of what Up and Over does for this school year, but I'm trying to get those programs more stationed in schools instead of so sporadic. I want to have more of a continual presence at schools instead of, hey, book us, or do you want us type of.
Actually, maybe be built into their curriculum
Right,
somehow.
right.
So you could probably use more volunteers, or if there's people in the community that can help out to help you do that, you'd be open to that, I imagine.
I would be open to that because, like I said, we have no funding. I don't really solicit funding or sponsorships, which I probably should, but yeah.
But if somebody's listening and they want to donate,
Yes.
you would be open to that, huh?
I would be open to that. They can go to our site, and there's ways that they can help us. They can even purchase our Up and Over shirt, which
Those
was
are cute.
designed by Danielle Logan here in Portland. She's local, beautiful person. And they say, smile, breathe, believe, begin, continue. And they're great. And we use
So
all the
that's part of
proceeds
your
from those to
fundraiser, yeah.
help fund travel and gas. It was kind of heartbreaking this past year. I had to turn away 2 schools out of Oregon because they didn't have the money to get us there, and we didn't have the money. So I'm really trying to focus more on having a surplus so we can get to these smaller schools, these reservation schools, and reach as many people as we can.
Yeah, some of those rural areas
Yeah.
don't really have, they don't have a whole lot of
Well,
resources.
when the superintendent is the principal at the high school and the middle school, that's a small,
Yeah, that's a
that's
small
a small
town. Probably the
district.
mayor, too.
Yeah, right, probably the mayor too. So it's a small district, but we want to be able to get to as many kids as we can.
So before we run out of time, you mentioned the equine school.
Yes.
It's horse sense riding, and then you do a workshop out in Estacada. So that's the same kind of thing where you're just trying to build confidence and have kids understand that they can overcome their obstacles too. But you do it through riding
Through horses. Yeah, it's that workshop focuses a lot on communication because you can't talk to a horse.
You can't.
I
but
mean,
they don't
they're
necessarily
not
understand
going to
you,
talk back. So you got to figure out the body language, the vibe, and also understand that how you come into a conversation or a situation has influence over that, regardless of what you say.
That's a very good point.
And so that really teaches that. And the foundation of Up and Over is really to empower youth to be accountable for who they decide to be. And so if you decide to be a good person, you can be that person regardless of your surroundings. You know, my mother was a drug addict. I've never drank or done drugs in my life, and that was a conscious decision. And so we just want to, we just want them to understand that they have that same control over who they are as well.
That's great. I love the mission. I think that's a beautiful
Thank
thing. Well, thank you very much for being here, Giovanni.
Thank you.
And I hope there are people out there that could maybe add something to the program by either donating or volunteering, or maybe they have connections that can help you accomplish those goals, because they're very
or
worthy
they can
ones.
even go to our site and share a story, because
there
that's
you go.
very powerful. There's a place where you can just share
right, yeah.
anonymously your story.
I saw that. I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you were inspired by Up and Over. I am, and I think this is part of the good people in our community who are really making a difference. So do stick around. We'll be right back with one more segment on Community Hotline. Thank you, Giovanni.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.